Hey everyone, it's me Bailey and welcome back to my channel. So today's video is going to be my June TBR. So I feel like I had a pretty good reading month in May. It is still May and there is still like a few days left in May, but I wanted to go ahead and film this video because there was 2 books that I did not end up getting to this month that I don't really see myself getting to. So I wanted to go ahead and start picking up my books for June. So the 2 books that are going back in my prompt jar are Bright Colors on the Cover and A Sad Book. So last month I ended up picking 6 books and this month I think I'm going back to 8 books just because I feel like I'm starting to come out of my slump, and so I feel like I'm ready to be a little bit more ambitious in picking 8 books to read. So these 2 prompts will be going back in the jar for a chance at another pick in another upcoming month. So we're just gonna go ahead and get right into it with our first pick. Okay, so the first prompt is a book starting with S, and for this I'm going with Swift and Saddled by Lila Sage. This is the 2nd book in the Rebel Blue Ranch series. I read the first one a couple months ago for a video that I was filming where I let Goodreads give me recommendations based off of my 5-star read, and I ended up getting the first book and really enjoyed it, and so I've been super excited to pick up the second book, so hopefully I can get to it in June. Pick number 2. Pick number 2 is a paranormal romance. Okay, so for paranormal romance, which I feel like paranormal and fantasy kind of go hand in hand with each other, but for paranormal romance I'm going with How Does It Feel by Janine O'Reilly. I have heard that this book is really good, but I was put off by the original cover because I just did not like it. I thought it was like kind of scary looking and just was not a fan of the original cover, but it has been picked up by a publisher, so it now has this new cover which I like so much more. It's like not as scary because it had like this big massive like moth on the front with these like human eyes, and it just was like not for me, but I recently picked this up and I'm super excited to read it, so fingers crossed that I can get to this in June. Pick number 3. Pick number 3 is A Sad Book, and this is a prompt that I did end up getting last month that I didn't read, so I am actually going to pick the same book, which is Pack Up the Moon by Kristen Higgins. So fingers crossed that I can get to this in June. I am super excited to read this and I just feel like it might make me cry, but we'll see. And yeah, I'm excited for this one. Pick number 4. Okay, pick number 4 is a New to You series, and for this one I am going with A Broken Blade by Melissa Blair, and this is the first book in the Halfling saga, and I haven't really heard much about this just because I haven't been on like fantasy romance side of booktube or TikTok recently, and so I've been trying to get back into reading more fantasy and like fantasy romance, so I feel like this is a good place to start. And I know there's like 3 books out in this series, so I'm unsure if there's more coming out, but I am super excited to read this book. Pick number 5. Pick number 5 is TikTok picks. So we're gonna go to my TikTok. Okay, so I'm gonna throw up a screen recording of my TikTok, and the first book that shows up is the book that I will read for this prompt. So I'm going to refresh and we're going to scroll until we see a book. There's like no books popping up. Okay, so the first book that's popped up is Bridesmaid Undercover by Megan Quinn, but that book isn't out yet, so I guess we are going to keep scrolling. Okay, so we finally found our first book, which was One Dark Window by Rachel Gillig. Is the first one to like pop up that I have seen or that is out or that I have the potential to read while scrolling. So it looks like for TikTok picks, we've got One Dark Window by Rachel Gillig, which I have been wanting to read this book, so I am super excited to hopefully get to it. And it's funny too because I went book shopping yesterday and I almost picked it up. It was on the buy one get one half off table and I was so close to picking it up and then just didn't, and now I regret that I didn't and I wish I would have. But so now we are on to pick number 6. Pick number 6 is 500 plus pages, and for a book with 500 plus pages I'm going with When the Moon Hatched by Sarah A. Parker. This is the first book in the Moonfall series and I have been seeing this book going around. I actually went into Barnes & Noble yesterday looking for this book, and so I am super excited to read this and hopefully I enjoy this. It is a very, very thick book. It's got like 700 pages. So love this cover and I'm super excited to hopefully get to this in June. On to pick number 7. Pick number 7 is a cozy read. Okay, so for a cozy read I'm going with Finley Donovan Jumps the Gun. This is the 3rd book in the Finley Donovan series. I have been slowly reading the series over the past few months and I've been having such a good time reading it, and so I'm super excited to get into the 3rd book. And now for our 8th and final pick, a book with flowers on the cover. Okay, so for a book with flowers on the cover I'm going with King of Wrath by Anna Hong, and I know when you look at this cover you're like, Bailey, where are the flowers? Well, if you look at the top you can see that they are very, very light in the corner right there, and there are also some down here on the bottom as well, some flowers on this cover. So this is a book that I'll be picking up for flowers on the cover. I have been wanting to read this series as well as finish the Twisted series, which I haven't done yet, but fingers crossed I can get to this in June. So these are the books that I am planning on reading in the month of June. I did also want to mention that I do now have a book club on the app Fable, and so this will be the first month that we will be reading in our book club. This will be the first month that this book club has started, so if you are interested in joining I will have the link in my description. But we are still currently voting for our book for June, so I'm not 100% sure what the book is going to be, but as of today it looks like the winner is going to be Faybound by Sarah El Arafi. So it looks like I will also be reading this book this month as well if that is the winner for our book club pick. I also do have my in real life book club as well, and we are going to be reading A Court of Thorns and Roses, so I will be reading this in June as well. So those are all the books that I'm planning on reading in June. I hope you guys liked this video. If you did, make sure to give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel if you want to see more content from me. I will have all of my social media linked in the description, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.